adverts.
Okay. Can you switch on that line? Good evening, people. We're just about to start the show. We're talking about loneliness.
I haven't got an idea.
I have. I'm just pressed. I think there's one person on there. We are dealing with loneliness. A lot of things are broken on the machine, so you have to bear with me at the studio. We've got a few more minutes to go. I don't know if this thing is working. People, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm having problems with my board today. Good evening. This is Kiki's chat show. Today, Wednesday, 21st of Feb 2018. February has begun. It's a tough year. It's a tough month. February has begun in a tough way for my family. We are going through some serious challenges, but we will have faith and courage and press on. I hope things are going well for people. It's really cold out here in the UK. London is freezing. However, all of that makes London, London. You can't be anywhere else. If you live in London, you love London. Everything is in London. Life, happiness, sorrow, sadness, pleasure, the lot. Today the discussion is loneliness. Loneliness, is it affecting our health? Loneliness does affect our health. Loneliness is a tough call. People think that to be lonely is when there's nobody near you or around you. Unfortunately, loneliness, you can be very lonely in a crowd. You can be lonely in a big family. You can be lonely in a marriage. You can be lonely with siblings. You can be lonely in a relationship. Loneliness is something that creeps upon you like a thief in the night. Now, people say that loneliness is a feeling you have when there's no one you can really talk to. It affects most people at some point and is associated with poorer physical and mental well-being. So loneliness is an emotional state that we have when we are feeling disconnected.
That's the shit. What?
is the topic, and how does it affect our health? Did you guys know that loneliness actually is a bigger killer than morbid obesity? There are people who are obese and who are unhealthy. They eat unhealthy food. They don't go to the gym. They drink a lot of sugar-based products. They eat a lot of sugar-based products. They do not have vegetables. They eat very badly. They are couch potatoes, and yet they are not as bad as someone who is lonely. We all feel lonely at certain points in our lives, but for some people, loneliness becomes chronic. Now, I know a lot of children who, and it happens mostly in the Western world. I'm not saying that people in other countries are not lonely, but this happens a lot in the Western world where the child is an only child, he goes to school, he feels isolated, he doesn't really have many friends, and because some children can be very cruel and rude and horrible, he's always, and also the other thing is he may be a very studious child and he's interested in computer games, whereas the rest of the children are very physical, they want to play sports, etc. That way, a child does become lonely. He can be lonely in his world, and then they enter into the world, and as they're growing up, they become even lonelier if they do not find people who are like them, like-minded people who maybe, and that's why if you watch, there's this soap I really love with Sheldon on the Big Bang Theory on television E4. Sheldon is a special lonely child. However, Sheldon is surrounded by like-minded people, or he got to a point where he was surrounded by like-minded people. Suddenly, Sheldon has a posse. He has a few friends. They like the games, the computer games they play. Sheldon is a scientist. And so, you know, they are all scientists, and they have a lot of things in common. Other contributing factors include situational variables, such as physical isolation. Maybe you have a disability, say, so you kind of feel like you don't want to, you feel embarrassed to mix with people, and people don't have time for you anyway, so you are on your own, you are lonely. There is also moving to a new location. Maybe you were living happily with friends in one area, then you move to Azerbaijan, it's work, you don't know anybody, you have no friends, you're not somebody who makes friends easily, then you begin to feel lonely. For a lot of women, actually, divorce makes them lonely. They feel sad. They are going through a kind of a failure phase, especially if the man left you. If you left him because if you know what your plans are, that's fine. But there are some people who divorce has put them in a situation where they are embarrassed about it because socially it's unacceptable to be lonely. Therefore, and it's not acceptable to be divorced. And so you've done something that society frowns upon. So now you have isolated yourself, you feel lonely, you do not know where to turn. The death of a significant other is one of the biggest lonely things for situations for widows and widowers, you know, both men and women, you know, because if you are close to somebody, you've had your life with someone, you've done certain things, you are living in a pattern, suddenly one spouse dies and you are on your own, you are lonely. You cannot work out the feeling of loneliness, that one can sit upon you. You cannot mix with people because you feel bereft. You go through the bereavement stage, and then after the bereavement stage, people go through different stages of blaming themselves sometimes. Maybe you've been in a family or a relationship or a marriage where you were, tight like a drum. You didn't do things with other people. You did things just the two of you. And so when the other spouse dies, suddenly you find yourself thrown into this big wide world. Your partner is not there. It can kill you. It is a killer, especially when there are no children around. Sometimes people they don't easily make friends. Loneliness can also be a symptom of a psychological disorder. And so you are lonely. You are amongst people, but you are lonely because you don't have things in common, because you feel insecure. You begin to have anxiety. Anxiety causes stress. Stress causes depression. Depression, it's a low, long, slow situation, and then you find yourself in a very deep, dark place. Now, the feeling of being lonely does not necessarily mean that a person is truly alone. All too often, people tend to confuse the two ideas, which make it difficult to pinpoint true loneliness, because you could say you're lonely, but you get up in the morning and you go to work. There are people there. You talk to people. You communicate with people. You are even laughing. Someone said something. And then from work, you come home. So you've got family there. You may have a sibling, a friend, a husband, a child, etc. And yet you feel lonely. When it's like that, you have to check yourself, because that sort of loneliness is more of a mental perception of an individual who is craving a particular type of human contact. So if you don't get that, you have this empty feeling of unwanted, people don't want you, and then you begin to feel isolated. If you are lonely and you want to talk about it, I'm here. You shouldn't feel lonely. Nobody should feel. There are millions of people in this world. There are different people in this world. There is somebody who's going to understand you. There is somebody who is going to maybe like what you like. You may not find that person in your area. You may not find that person at work. But there are people out there who will make you feel happier or not alone. Now, when I say that, I have a clause there. You see, other human beings are not responsible for your happiness. They're not. You shouldn't feel that someone else should make you happy. That is not the way. Now, I'm going to play some music for you, and when I finish, we shall talk some more. And then I shall open the telephone lines as well. So if you want to come on, and whilst we're doing that, I will talk about the whole loneliness thing, because I have found that there are children who are lonely, and they grow with this loneliness. They become adults, they are unhappy, and then they become depressed. They feel, and it's all that thing of, they have different facets and reasons why people get into that kind of world of loneliness. I'll play this music, people, and then we can do the lonely thing.
Visit irockin.com for more Nigerian music anytime, anywhere.
All my ladies,
Hello, and we're back. We're talking about loneliness. Now, loneliness is something which is quite dangerous because loneliness can kill you. Loneliness can take you into places where you have no idea. It can take you into a dark place. Now, during high school, many teenagers start to feel isolated and abandoned for many different reasons. There are an unbelievable number of changes, responsibilities, and tribulations associated with their age group. Teens can feel lonely because they don't have anyone to talk to or to confide in. They feel alone and lost. Now, teens are having serious problems because it's mostly around the teenage years that couples start to unravel and divorce is coming to play. Now, teenagers blame themselves for these divorces. They kind of feel that they are in this war zone of situations. They go to school, they are withdrawn, they have friends who are happy, parents are picking them up, laughing and talking, and they feel like, oh no, we don't have that at home, or maybe, etc., etc. And so they begin to get withdrawn, they feel sad, they are isolated, and they're not able, they begin to have a sense of loneliness. And this loneliness can stem from being shy, socially awkward, not being able to make friends, lack of listening skills, or thinking they're not good enough. Especially when things are bad at home. They really feel that it's their fault and they're not good enough. And then they begin to get into this cycle. Now, we have a lot of young, confused people. I got a note today, actually, when I put it on Instagram, that I was going to talk about loneliness. And he said, I have struggled with loneliness. This is somebody called Roger, and he says, I've struggled with loneliness ever since primary school. And as I got to my early 20s, it got so bad because I don't have friends or a partner. It's really affected my life. And I've been to counseling so many times and spoken to people, and it's just got up to a point where I feel so tortured inside because no one understands me. I will be listening to your show. Now, this is a little bit sad because here is a young man who is not going to call in. He hasn't, but he's been feeling isolated. He hasn't got any friends. Parents, one of the things that we need to do is try and keep in touch with our children. We have to try and see what is happening, how things are going. We have, if they're in a school where they're unhappy, change the school. Change the school. You cannot bring a child into this world and let it suffer so early on in its life. We have to be careful the things we say. We have to be careful how we fight in the house with our spouses when things are bad. We have to be careful because children are like eggs, they're delicate. Now, this is somebody who has struggled with loneliness ever since primary school. And this person, he says, I need a reality check. And everyone says I should get a reality check and literally change my life. Thank you so much for doing this show. Roger, I don't know where you are. I don't know, but I know you're listening, and if you are listening, trust me, there are ways of changing this loneliness. One of the things people don't realize is our thoughts, and the way that we perceive the world, sometimes because of experience, the experiences that we go through. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not at fault. However, if you want friendships, and if you feel that happiness is having a friend or two, which, good friends can give you great happiness, then you yourself has to look at yourself and try and change your situation. You have to try and happy yourself, as they say in Africa. We in Africa have ways of doing things, and one of them, you have all the opportunities here in the Western world. I know you are in the Western world, and I also know that it all is not lost. You have to join a gym or a dancing group or a debating society or something. You have to look at yourself and ask yourself, what do I like? Now, whilst you are lonely, or whilst you are alone, or whilst you are in your own company, this is the time for you to find out what makes you happy. Television programs are there. Which type of television programs give you happiness? What is happening in that show? Would you like to do some of it? Would you like to join a dancing group? Would you like to join a gym? Would you like to join a book club? Whatever it is that you want to do, you start it on your own. Start it on your own. And slowly, you join these clubs, and you will find that you have people with a common mind who want to do the same things that you want to do, and suddenly you will have friends. Now, I must caution people who think that it is through friendship that you get happiness. That is not true. Your happiness is within you. And that happiness, when you have it, trust me, it radiates. You have to use it. You have to do happy things for yourself. You have to know yourself. First of all, you have to know what you like. If you want to call, it's 0213-735-8820 or 0203-286-0185. The lines are open. Now, I've had a text from somebody who says, tell Roger to see if there is a dance class near him. Not an African dance, but ballroom, including Latin dance, because African dance demands one to pretend to be an extrovert. Oh, I get it. So just go and join a dance class near you. Look for it. Sometimes when you go to the council notice board, they write these things down, dance classes here, or some of the church notice boards. They dance in the church halls, etc. Or anything. It has to be, Roger, honey, it has to be what you want. It has to be something that will give you pleasure. It doesn't have to be dance. If you like to swim, I like to swim. I used to swim when I was in secondary school. So even when I came out of secondary school, I used to seek places where they were swimming. I wasn't looking for friendship though, but it was something that I did which gave me personal pleasure. Now, you can seek personal pleasure, and from personal pleasure, you will meet like-minded people. And when you meet like-minded people, you may find a few friends to trust, a few friends to go to the pub with, a few friends to go to a party with, a few friends that you know that you can watch a movie with. If you have a sibling, you know, is near your age, you can do things with, even if he's not near your age, if it's a she, he, whatever, you can do things. Now, I have noticed that in life, if you don't look for something, you will never find it. As the same way that they say if you look for trouble, you will find it. It's the same way as if you look for happiness within you and you have it and you radiate it, you will find it. Oh, the phone was ringing. Hello? Hello, caller? No caller. If you look for friendship, you will find it. But you will find it in the right place if you take your time, if you know yourself. Therefore, I advise Roger and anyone else who's listening. I've got another message actually, but I can't, you know, I've got so many pieces of paper here, so I'm not sure, but I saw it and I copied it before I came on. I can't find it now. But, you know, in truth, there are a lot of people out there who feel lonely. And a lot of people who think that if they have something that somebody else has got, that's where their happiness is. That is not true. It's not true. Call again. I'm sorry. I did not see the light flashing until it was stopping. If you meet someone and you have like-minded thoughts, do not dwell too much on what they have. What you have is fun. And if you want something, you will get it. I remember years ago, many years ago, even before I got married, I like cooking. So I like, you know, even I like crockery and beautiful pots and things. And I went to a friend's house. She invited me to dinner. And the table setting, and we were young at the time. Oh, I've got a caller now. Hello, caller. Caller. Where are you? Okay. And the table setting and everything was so pretty. We hadn't married yet. We were quite young. And everything was perfect. And I thought in my head, oh God, when am I going to work and get the same, you know, plates and cutlery and this beautiful table setting? I have more than that now. I worked and got it. I didn't want hers, but I wondered how long it would take me to get mine. I did get it. And that's the thing. You can aspire to something. And I've got them, but it's not a big deal. If I have people coming for dinner, I will bring out my beautiful set, my plates, my cutlery and all of that. But then after Christmas or after the guests have gone, I pack them away. I don't have them every day. So really, that is not the be and all and end all of my life. And that is not, you know, it's not a biggie. And it's the same thing. We can't want what other people have. And even if we work for it, when you get it, and then what? You know, so slowly, we get what we want when we work for them. And it's not sitting there saying they have it and I don't have it, so I'm upset. No, it doesn't work like that. And I need you to understand that. If you're out there listening, you can do things for yourself. Now, if you feel that you are lonely because you are single, and so that is making you sad, that is impossible. You have to meet somebody first. How do you meet people? You have to be a happy person. You have to learn to do things. And when you are going out to meet someone, you have to be sure that you are meeting somebody who you have a few things in common with. And that's when it's nice. Then the romance is beautiful. You know, so you don't just look outside and think, oh, my friend Jonas has a girlfriend and my friend Lucy has a boyfriend and everybody's in coupledom. No, it doesn't work like that. Be single, enjoy your singleness. You will get someone. And when you do, it is absolutely beautiful. And that is what I think. I think that if we take it easy, and listen, even if you're a widow, even if, I'll tell you my personal tragedy. I have had friends I've done things with. We have bonded, we laughed, gone out, And then sometimes the friendship breaks, or maybe they move out of the area, they travel, etc. And I'm on my own for a while. That's when you kind of get your act together. That's when you rebuild yourself. That's when you get busy. If you're young, you study. Even if you're old, you can do some studies. You can make yourself happy. This is my belief. You can make yourself happy. You can make yourself, you can create that sort of world around you that when people see you and they see your confidence and the way that you are, they will want to be your friend. And by that time, you yourself, you know yourself. You know you don't like smoking. Therefore, if you meet a man who smokes, you move away. Or a woman who smokes, you move away. You do not judge, but you understand that for me, this is not good for me. You know the situations that you want. You want somebody who understands you and you understand yourself. You are going to understand the person. They're going to understand you. You have to be confident within your life. You have to, unfortunately, everyone experiences a sense of loneliness in their life at some time during their life. And it's ultimately how you react to this that determines whether you spiral into a world of isolation or true loneliness, or if it's merely a temporary sadness. Whether it's at school, at work, or in the middle of a big city, the only way to get back into your normal life is to move on. So that's why I'm saying I have been through a lot of lonely patches in my life. I have, but I like to be lonely. I'm one of those people who, because I'm busy, I go to work, I'm rushing around, I have to come to radio station, blah, 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 blah. I love my lonely moments. I love to be by myself. I love to go home sometimes a whole Saturday afternoon. I'm by myself. I do some shopping and I cook and I play music. And on Sundays, maybe I get the family around and so is the noise again. But after 9 o'clock, they all go. I watch a bit of telly in my pajamas. I have a bath. I wash my hair. I like to be lonely. Now, loneliness can be temporary. It's you and how you treat your loneliness. I'm going to play some more music. We'll come back and we'll carry on.
Biz. Jay Martins, fit Fali Hippopati Pap la merveille. Je m'en fous.
I want
play the rest of it later. That was Jupa by my favorite African singer called Fali Ipupa. Fali is a dream. He's so beautiful. And this week I've been going through some serious challenges, and I've played Fali a few nights, and I've managed to sleep. Now, some signs of loneliness. Loneliness can take you into mental health. Loneliness can kill you. Loneliness can give you suicidal thoughts. Loneliness are in our thoughts. We have to try and move away from it. We have to busy ourselves. We have to happy ourselves. There are physical symptoms of loneliness, and this comes, and I know it, because bereavement is one of the major symptoms, or the major reasons why we fall into these symptoms. And you get aches and pains, you have headache, you have this feeling of nausea all the time, and then you have, if you have a medical condition, it then gets worse. If you have low energy because you cannot motivate yourself to rise up out of this sadness. One of the things that happens is they are all in your thought. It's your thought. It is the thought that, oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh, and I know it. Sometimes when you're bereaved, every morning when you wake up, you have this sharp pain of, oh my God, you don't even know why. And then you remember that, oh, you have a bereavement in your family. It's so painful, people. And that sort of thing, if this is your close family member or something, you will go through all sorts of stages. If it is a spouse, you will go through these stages. The same way, in the same way, you will go through this even when you have a breakup in a relationship, whether it's a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. Sometimes, and I know this because one of my young friends told me that a situation occurred, and this guy that she was going out with took pictures of her, and when they broke up, he passed it through all his friends, so they saw naked pictures of her lying in a bed. Now, she wasn't aware of it, and when she saw it, she was so upset. She couldn't come out. She was so ashamed. She wanted to change her university campus. She wanted all these things. And I said to her, look, all of them do it. Don't bother yourself. Don't mind them. Dress up, look good, and come out into the world. After a while, they'll forget. They did. There are lots of people walking about showing themselves naked in all sorts of situations. We see them on the television. We see them everywhere. All these people that you see on the campus, you're not going to marry any of them. There is a big world out there. People see things, even with celebs and all. Shameful situations occur. It's written in the newspapers. It's talked about on the radio. We see it everywhere. And in a week, we've forgotten. Life goes on. So, in the same way, I think that we ourselves imprison ourselves. And it is that imprisonment which causes us to have all sorts of thoughts, and those thoughts cripple us. Those thoughts then hurt us. We have to stop and think about, what do you want? How do you want to live your life? There is a big world that you have health. You have health. Your legs are good. You are okay. Get out and live. You have to live. You have to appreciate your life. And if at all, and you come from a Christian family, then you have to learn how to pray. Prayer is essential. It is vital and it is good. Prayer is like meditation. And when you get into that form of habit of praying to calm yourself down and to live your life as you see it fit, not as other people who are being judgmental. Look, one of the things and one of our problems that we're not, and which causes great loneliness, is maybe a situation occurs in your life and other people know about it. So they gossip a little bit, they talk about you. And then you feel isolated and you feel sad, etc., etc. And then, when it's like that, you are scared to do anything. You are scared to come out. You are scared to be friends with people because you think they're judging you and they're looking at you like you're a bad person or a bad friend. That is dangerous. What happens then is you are the one who is in prison. Let them think. We cannot live our lives in that sort of situation where other people are determining how we live. No, it's not possible. Therefore, it is these reasons, and it is why loneliness can be fought. Loneliness can be fought. Loneliness, you can come out of loneliness. If you are young, you have the whole world in front of you. If you are old, this is your time to live. If you are in primary school, if there's somebody who should be in bed but is not in bed and listening to me, don't allow other people to make you feel lonely. That is wrong. That is so wrong. You have to enjoy your life. You have to appreciate your life. You have to do things. You have to talk to people. Even if, sometimes it's shyness. Shyness can bring on loneliness because you feel so shy. You don't want to open your mouth and say something to somebody else. Now, if you do that, and that is how you want to live, you can have serious problems. You have to be able to talk to people. You have to be able to tell one person something. Even the GP, you can go to your GP and talk to them and say, GP, I am feeling lonely. You have to admit to your feelings about loneliness. You have to accept your loneliness. And when you do, you then learn to be alone. You strengthen your social connections. You have work. You have all sorts of things around you if you have work. If you have family, yes, we are always arguing with our family members and that. Learn to calm down a little bit. And when you are in a lonely situation, there's somebody in your family for you to deal with. There are times when I wasn't playing with any of my friends, but I had my family members to party with. And that was a good thing. That saved me a lot. And, we have so much in common, so it's easier to be friends with family. So you can do that. You have to overcome the feeling of rejection. When people reject you, it's their loss. It's not yours. It's their loss. And don't allow to get your mind stuck in, maybe I should do this or I should have done. No. No. There is no should in anything. When you have the chance to be alone, find things to occupy your time. There is no should. If you are steadfast and true to yourself and you project that truth, you will get good, loyal friends. Don't allow your mind to get stuck in the shoulds. That should is not good enough. Don't say, I should have. No. I have good friends. I have friends. I've had them for years. And we are still rolling. There is no should in anything. If they know me, I know them. They are the ones who know my truth, and I know theirs. I hardly see them sometimes. But that's how it's supposed to be. You roll with your own kind of people. And if you are somebody who wants to play computer games, or you are a scientific bod, or you want to read the Bible, therefore you want a Christian, whatever you want, work towards it. You will find people to join you to do all those things. Disallow negative self-talk. Don't do that thing of, I'm so bad. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, I'm so unlucky. What? How can you be unlucky when you're alive in this beautiful wide world? You are not unlucky. You are not bad. You are not a devil child. You are not anything. You are beautiful. Everybody has their own beauty. You are beautiful. You are loved. And even though you may not feel that love at that moment, the love is coming. It will come. I advise anyone who believes that they are unfortunate or unlucky or ugly or negative, take that from your mind and you will suddenly see how beautiful you are. You cannot treat yourself badly. If you treat yourself badly, other people will treat you badly too. And that is not good. That is not a good thing. Challenge negative perceptions of social situations. Some people don't like Facebook. And they view Facebook as, what is that? It's life. So Facebook is just the pretend life on social media. I don't mind Facebook. I use it to my advantage. I'm using Facebook now. I have a radio station. I've got another caller. Hello, caller. I see the caller, but you know. So I see the caller. I press the thing and it doesn't come on. Caller, I don't know what's going on. Try again, because we only have 6 minutes now. Anyway, so hello, caller. Hello, just a sec. I'm gonna raise the volume. Can I hear you? Can you hear me? Don't know. Hello, caller? Caller? I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I am not. This board is broken, I think. There's something going on with this board. I can't hear anything. And I'm pressing all the buttons. It's not working. I'm sorry. Maybe next week. I came and the PC one's not working. PC 2 is all over the place. So it's just the one that I'm playing the music with and the sound of me talking to you. And I've only got 5 minutes now, so. But anyway, the strategies for fighting depression and loneliness is make a plan. There are 2 basic types of loneliness. So this loneliness where you are projecting it or people are rejecting you or you've had a breakup or you're going through something, talk to yourself. Say, I have to rise above this. It's very difficult. It's easier said than done, but it is done. And I am testament. I have gone through loneliness before. I have been lonely in a marriage where I'm surrounded. There's a partner there. There are friends around, everything. I was lonely. Things were not going the way that I felt they should. I wasn't sure. I felt trapped. And in my trappedness, I could not say to people that this was a situation because you're in a marriage and you don't want to spoil things. However, that is the way that you find yourself lonely and you're just going. It's like you're an autopilot. Let me tell you, you can come out of it. You have to have a plan. And that plan is deciding that this is not good for me and I have to get out. You have to do something. You have to either study something, you have to join a group, you have to do something. People do that all the time. You have to explore your faith. If you believe that you are in a... hello, caller? Caller? Hello? Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, mommy, I've been trying.
Oh, I know. What the number that is on the screen is broken. That PC is broken. This one as well, it took me ages to be able to get you. I kept pressing all the buttons. If you could see me on Facebook, you see me pressing and pressing.
I hope that your challenges will come to a halt, huh?
My challenge is a bereavement, actually, so that's what I'm going through now. Of course it will pass because, as they say in the Bible, this too shall pass. But then, thank you. But thank you very much. Yeah.
I don't think that is what you meant to say. You meant to say solitude.
Yes.
Yeah. Loneliness is a negative part, but solitude is, being your own, being your own and enjoying your own self and, having quality time with yourself, self-awareness. That's solitude, and we all pray for it. But loneliness, unfortunately, we're not able to say so many things, but like you said, you've got to help yourself. You can work in the community, you can do some voluntary work in the hospital, get around people. You don't have to make friends, but you can make friends indirectly, right?
Yeah.
in any program that you like, just program them, get involved in them, submerge yourself into something that you like, write a book, every day visit that book, and things like that. And if you love pets, get a pet. Okay? So Kiki will leave you, and then, all my sympathy and all, right?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye-bye. People, now suddenly the phone is working. It always works towards the end of the show. And there you go. But, yep, loneliness is something that we all go through. I've been through it. I'm not in it now, but I've been through it. And I now love my solitude, and I know how it is to be on my own. You too will have it if you address it, accept that this is your situation, and then come out of it. If you can't by yourself, see the GP, see your doctor, talk to somebody. You need help if you are in that dark place. But if you are on the way to the dark place, turn around, come back, and there you are. I have 1 second. Done. People, the show is over. Thank you all for people who've been on Facebook and the people on radio and everyone who has. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope everyone learned something from it. I've just had a text from Roger, and he says, where are we? He says, thank you so much. Thank you. And that's it. Roger, I am very happy to be of service. People, we all go through all sorts of challenges in our lives. We do. Sometimes we realize that the world doesn't end just because something bad has happened. We are learning, and we are adjusting to all sorts of situations in our lives. I want to go now because my time is up and the hour is up. But I want to thank you all for listening. And if you want me to continue with this, I will. Otherwise, next week we have a different subject, and we shall try and thrash it out to make our lives better. And in so doing, make the world a better place. Thank you very much for being here with me. And so, because I knew that you were on the other side of the screen, I wasn't lonely. I'm now going to see if I can answer some people's. The guy who's supposed to come after me hasn't come. So, Lily, thank you for watching. Ben, oh, all of these people watching. This is so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I shall go now, and we shall speak some more next week. Thank you, bye.